This episode is about self-betrayal. We have all been betrayed by a person we trust, and the pain was so deep it cut like a knife. But how do you feel when you betray yourself? My name is Karen Young, and you are listening to Divine Intervention from Dark to Light, where my goal is to help you develop a positive mindset and make sure you realize and use your divine intuition. I always like to share a story with you, from my experience. And I have been betrayed in my life, and I'm sure everybody have. I also self-betrayed myself in my life. And I think that self-betrayal is going against your better judgment. And I want to share, my story with you guys on how I felt like the guy was portraying me, but it was really me portraying myself in this instance. Self-betrayal is going against your better judgment. There are times when I found myself going along with situations I did not want to go along with. Either it was family members or friends or something like that. And later, I'll say yes before, I even had a chance to even think about it. Just, being, wanting to please my family or my friends or whoever that was involved, and they ask me, they'll say, do you want to go, or can, we have this event at your house, and I don't get a chance to really process it. I just say yes, and then I end up later feeling like I should have, at least thought about it or something, but I said yes, and I ended up doing something that I didn't want to do, or was in a situation or going along with a situation that I didn't necessarily get myself a chance to think about. And these times when I stayed in relationships that I knew that that I wasn't supposed to be in, but I just wanted to, be in them, or thinking they'll work out for whatever reasons, having long friendships or things that's not working out, just letting it, stay longer than it should. And there were red flags everywhere. So I just want to get into the situation. Well, it's like this. I met this guy. He was nice in the beginning. He, took me out in the beginning, showed, I just thought I was very attracted to him. And he was very attracted to me. I thought that, this guy was a good guy. And, he presented himself in a certain kind of way. And if you're attracted to somebody, ladies or gentlemen, you kind of, want things to work out. He had a car, nice car. He was working, and he looked like he appeared to have himself together in the beginning. He took me out. He treated me real nice. For a while that went on. First 6 months or something like that, it seemed to be going on. Then, it started being less. Situation, he would say, why don't we go to the theater? He'll have a suggestion or something like that. Somebody's concert is coming up. You want to go see him? Old school, the OJs, whoever was playing. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. But then or he'll say, you want to go to the Bulls game that's coming up? These events. It started. I say yes to him. But later it'll turn out, I'm like, what happened? Why we didn't go? And it started slowly, he started doing less and less, but I still liked him. I was holding on to that first 6 months, I'm thinking, everything should, turn out. I really liked him. Everything was nice in the beginning, so I was kind of holding. That's why you have to pay attention to what's going on, presently. Not what you want to happen, but when you in that stage, you want it to happen, you want it to work. And it just looked like he would just be coming over my house and we'd just be eating dinner, and we've just ended up being at my house mostly and not really going out anymore. And he just started getting real bold with his, I don't know, it just looked like he didn't care. I mean, different events, different Mother Day will come up or around, and he'll just come later. It started being all the special days, it'll be later that he'll come over. And it wouldn't be on the time that, you should be. It'd be like 10 or 9 or later on where everything is over with. They had me kind of puzzled, and I was questioning about it. And he said, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it and stuff like that. But those are your flags, people, whether you're female or male. Those are your flags right there. What is going on here? What am I not wanting to see? But at the time, I was just like, oh, maybe he's busy or whatever. And another clue was, we know that when we get older, when we don't go over to the person's house, something's wrong anyway. And he would tell me, he's living in a house and stuff like that. But I have my own house, so I really wasn't trying to necessarily go over there. But I noticed that I wasn't going over there. He wasn't really not necessarily inviting me over there. That's another red flag. I mean, you know that early on in your 20s. You would know that. But at this particular time, I was busy doing my thing. It really wasn't. I would ask, but it didn't really, I don't know. I just liked him. And like I said, ignore the signs, okay? So he just was not that gentleman that he portrayed it to be. It just almost about him. Every time he come, what you eating, what you're cooking, what you got going over here, and you just relaxing over my house, and we still not. And I asked him, I said, well, we ain't going nowhere. We need to go out and see well, the other movie is coming out. We can go and do, but he never would. He just started standing me up in different ways. But I still wanted, because I wanted that attention, and he knew how to give me other attention, if you know what I mean, and everything. And that part was okay. But then, it stayed in that area. And you need to know at that particular time that something's going on here. I did on another level, but I just wanted, like I said, I wanted what I wanted, and I ignored the signs. So I began to talk to my girlfriends and stuff about, I'm like, oh, he's this and that. He's, had a whole, list, the laundry list of what this guy didn't do and what he was supposed to do. And, I would get feedback from my friends like, girl, you need to drop him if he ain't doing. And I would say, yeah, I do. I need to drop him, or whatever it was that I needed to do. We always have the information. We always have the intuition. We have everything we need. We have it in us, but for some reason, we're not accessing that part. We're not accessing that part. We're steady blaming these people. You blaming the events, the person, the guy, or whatever. But really, I had all the answers. I had all the answers, but I wasn't utilizing it. I wanted this to work. This was seemingly like the right guy, but it wasn't. And I was thinking that it'll somehow go back to those 6 months that, in the beginning, where did that guy go? I mean, I'm thinking, he's going to show up and, be this guy that he was in the beginning. But he wasn't. He looked like he was getting worse. But then on the other part, he was giving me attention. He was giving me attention still, but not the real attention that I need. But he was giving me attention in other ways. And so this went on, and I hate to say, guys, it went on longer than it should have, like a good 2 years, 2.5 years and stuff like that. And one particular thing too, I didn't like, because I observe you how you are with my children. And guys, you need to observe everything. I mean, it's just not a one thing. Just observe everything and how they treat your kids, everything, the whole thing. One time, my daughter she was in a band. But whatever it was she was carrying, I forget back then. She had something, the instrument she was carrying was kind of heavy. And I was coming in the door, and he happened to come over at that time. And it might have been a flute or a clarinet, I don't know, but it was kind of heavy for her. I think she was trying to carry it. And I saw him, he came in after her. And I looked at him. I just observed. Most gentlemen, if you're a man, you'll see a little girl carrying that, you will try to carry. I said, she needs some help. You told me she'll be all right. I didn't like that. I said, no, she won't. You need to help her. But if I have to get on you for stuff like that, I know it seems small, but you have to pay attention to the small signs, the little signs. I do. I pay attention to that. Just other certain things was coming up. He had started getting bold in his behavior. He'll just come over without asking, because I'll tell you, I had gave him that permission. I mean, I would tell my friends he came over without me asking, but really, it's giving him this permission. But, I'll complain. I said, well, I went home. He just came over anyway and this and that, but I let him in. My thing is that, you know, it's really your responsibility. But anyway, I had all kind of complaints. It started being, he ain't doing this. He didn't give me nothing for Mother's Day, or he didn't give me nothing for Valentine's Day. Whatever it was getting worse in the 2 years. And I began to, say, you know what, this guy is this, that, and the other. He's no good. He's this and all this stuff. I could blame. I had all this complaints and this and that. And again, you had people saying, why don't you just drop this guy? Why don't you drop him? But for some reason, I wanted this to work. It was me wanting it to work. Or he told me at the time what I wanted to hear. Ladies, they can tell you what you want to hear at the time when you have your complaints. But it went on, and yet I was angry with him, very angry. I said, he betrayed me, he's, not good for me. He's the worst, and all this, but I continue this. But anyway, I'm not going to go round and round. It's just that I had to look at myself. I eventually had to look at myself and not him. I start asking myself kind of question now. Now, he said this, and that, and the other. He said he was going to take you, and all the stuff he was saying he was going to do. Now, I'm saying, now, are you accepting this? I mean, you have to ask yourself some questions. Why are you accepting this? Is this the way you want to go in another 2 years? I mean, how far are you going to take this? And this is me questioning my own self. Yeah, there's nobody to question. Yeah, this is self-talk. Who else is going to get into you more than you are? He definitely wasn't. It was fine with him the way things were. So I had to ask myself some questions, I had to do some soul searching and find out what is going on with me where I would allow something like this happening to me. And plus, I had a daughter that's looking at me. She's watching everything. He ain't taking mommy out or whatever it is that's going on. He's just sitting around watching TV or whatever it is. Or, kids can see that and they can sense that. And he wasn't really doing anything for her, because if he ain't taking me out, he ain't taking us out, right? So, I mean, he just wanted to sit around and watch TV or do whatever. But I had to start taking some real good look at myself and find out, what's going on with me. Why did I feel like I need to put up with this guy? And so I started writing things down. I'm like, he said he was going to be doing that's what's going on with me. Why am I allowing this? And when you inquire within yourself, you have the answers. They're all there. You just need to, inquire within yourself. Start questioning everything. Why am I doing this? I mean, you've asked yourself before, but keep asking. Keep asking. Why is this important? Why is he more important than my feelings? Why? And the thing is, are my requirements of myself and what I want being met? Are they being met in the way they should be? That's another thing. I mean, it just started feeling like nothing was being met, but just the physical part. And that's just not going to go but so far. I mean, that's fleeting. You always want more. I mean, at least I do. Most of us do. You want more than just that. And if you just got that, you have nothing, because you want more after that. And so I was like, but is even that physical part, is that worth it? And so when you start getting more deeper than that, you say, well, hey, who's really betraying me? I'm betraying my own self. This is some self-betrayal right here. This man is not betraying me. I'm allowing this man to do this. So who is really betraying who? It's me betraying me. And that's what I came up with. I said, I'm betraying my own self. This is self-betrayal. This is expecting a different result and doing the same thing. This is expecting a different result and doing the same thing. This man is not going to change. Why? Because I haven't. And why haven't I changed? And so when I got deep with myself and started searching, he was like, what's going on with you? He could tell a difference. I hadn't broke up with him yet, but I was working on him. I said, no, I'm not going to do that today. Oh, I can't come over? I said, no, I'm fine. I was working on myself. It don't always happen overnight. It don't. You just have to, still figure it out as you go. But you got to be in the process. You got to be in that process of asking yourself the deeper questions. And so, so I continued to work with myself until the point where I said, listen, you know what? He said, I'm coming over. I said, no, don't come over. And I meant it. And he said, well, why don't we just need to talk? I said, no. He said, well, you haven't been over my house now. His house started coming up. Oh, well, it was some bull. I mean, I'm just being honest. We ain't been over. I said, no, and that's okay. If I haven't been and you haven't invited me in 2.5 years, then I don't care to really come. You're like, why you don't really come? But I don't want to. Why you don't want to? I said, because I'm not interested. And so when I started being more into myself, it was attracted to him. Now he wants to know what's going on. Now I'm more attracted. But then at that point, I'm not interested. But my thing is, you have to ask the deeper questions. And on all this, this is just one incident, but on all your events or your situations in your life, you need to take, especially when you feel like somebody's really doing you in. And I'm not saying people can't betray you, but I just feel like the ultimate betrays yourself, that you're not listening to your own intuition. You're not listening to that part of you is telling you that you deserve more, you're valuable, you are special, and that you deserve the best, the very best. And if you can't have that, then don't do nothing at all. Be able to live with yourself. Be able to be alone. Well, you say, well, I think that's part of my problem too. Being honest with you, if I break up, what happened? What happened? Ask yourself, what will be the worst thing that happened if you broke up with this guy? The stuff is not, happening positive. No way. So what would happen? Well, I wouldn't have company, but maybe you don't need any. Maybe you don't need that type of company. Maybe you just need yourself at this time. Have your thoughts with peace. And that's what I realized. I realized that this guy was not portraying me like I was portraying myself. I was portraying myself. And that's where that's what I learned from this. I needed to pay attention to the red signs, red flags, the signs, all the things that was around me that's telling me what's good for me. And you need to do the same. You need to examine everything. It might not be in this instant, but it could be another one. It could be a friend. It could be a friend that you saying, okay, she's your best friend, but she's not acting that way. She's turning on you when her other friends come or treating you a certain, within yourself. But she say, well, girl, we friends. We still cool. But within yourself what she just did, and you still excuse it. It could be any event. It could be anything that you don't feel that is right within yourself. You got that feeling, that intuition that's tugging at you. And how do you know when you portray yourself? I got some good steps of how you know where you portraying yourself. Step number 1, you feel cheated. You feel cheated when you or when you feeling self-betrayal or you feeling like things are not right. You feel cheated. Something's wrong. Something's off. That's number 1. Number 2, your intuition is tugging at you. It's telling you something. You're feeling a certain kind of way. Something ain't right. In your stomach. A lot of times I just tell you where I feel mine. I feel it, kind of in my stomach or something like that. And the red flags. Number 3, red flags is all around you. It's blowing like a horn. It's like everything is going on right there. It's like, wake up. This person is not, or this event, this doesn't sound right. This is not right. This is not the right situation for you. And then you lose yourself. And that's another thing. That's more important. Number 4, you lose yourself. You have lost yourself in this situation, in this man, in this relationship, or whatever situation is. You just feel like, I don't even know who I am to allow this to me. You're foreign to yourself. And you can't be foreign to yourself. I mean, if you start doing that, you definitely know. So if you feel those things, ladies or gentlemen or whoever out there, you're feeling those things, cheated, your intuition talking to you, red flags and things like that, or you feel like you lost yourself or you're losing yourself, that's another way. And how do I stop deceiving myself? I'll tell you how I stopped deceiving myself. I became aware of my choices. I was aware of my choices. I said, what am I choosing in this moment? Is this the best thing for you? You can just ask yourself, right? This is the highest option for me. A lot of times it's the lower. You're like, is this the highest option? You can just ask yourself and then think about it. See how you feel. And put yourself first. Am I putting myself first? That's another thing. Am I putting myself first? And then you just look back in memory. This guy has always been, first if he was. This guy wasn't first in my life, but still I was letting things go that wasn't. But if you are, you look back and you say, well, it's always what this guy wanted to do. He always wanted to go to the basketball game, or he always wanted to go to this restaurant. He never asked me what I wanted to do. He never asked me what is important to me. He never put me first, or he never put my child. He never say, what do your daughter want? What do you want? If you don't get those type of things, then you're not putting yourself first. And that's important. And the second way to not deceive yourself or stop deceiving yourself is speak up. Speak up. Say, you know what? If you continue, you can give them ultimatums. Listen, you said you was going to take, if you don't take me this time, we're not, and then if it's a forced thing, I don't think you should go through it. I'm just saying, you do ultimatum, you know what, we're not going to go out if you can't come and pick me up on time or be here when you say that you said you was going to do your word, it's your bond. You're supposed to say, hey, I can't make it or whatever, but if they keep standing you up or whatever the deal is, you say, listen, I'm not going to put up with that. That's unacceptable. And mean it. They know when you mean it. It's unacceptable. I don't care if you do like them. Like can go but so far. I don't care if you do like them. But, you're just being real with yourself. And say, what you like and what you don't like. Set a limit. Say, I don't like that. I don't like it when you do that. And if you continue to do that, we're not going to be talking. And mean it. And so you always, examining your life. And if you don't like it, you have a right to change it. Examine the people in your life, the events in your life, and see if it's, like I said, is your highest ideal of yourself, the highest version of yourself. Is this what I really want? And if you feel like you're taking a hit, you're really not taking a hit. You say, I'm going to be alone if I do this, but then, what is the other option? So maybe being alone is the best option. Or maybe you just keep your options open and continue to date or do whatever, or go to another venue if you don't like it. Keep your options open, but keep your mind open, keep your heart open, keep your intuition open, and you would do better and be better as a person. You won't, self-betrayal. You won't betray yourself as much as you did before. You'll stop betraying. And you really stop bringing the blame on others. And really, you have to look at yourself. It always come back to you. I don't care what it is. It always come back to you. It always come back to me. I don't care what it is. It comes back to me. What am I allowed? How do I see myself? You have been listening to Divine Intervention from Dark to Light. My goal is to help you develop a positive mindset and make sure you recognize and use your divine intuition. Today, I want you to remember to put yourself first. Don't betray yourself and always go with your better judgment. Comment below and let me know how you are going to put yourself first this week. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe. I'm Karen Young, your host, and remember never to ignore your divine intuition.